All right, Shalom. First, let's start by saying all praise to Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, by Shem Akar Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles that rule well, and salutations to the brothers that's doing the truth with sincerity. Now, as you can see, this says inside look at a Texas shelter for immigrant children, and this is on what's going on at the border with Issachar and a lot of them the Latin tribes, because you know, if you've been watching these documentaries and stuff that they be having on the Latin tribes, you will know that a lot of them, not only Issachar sneaks in through the border, man. You got Zebulun that try to sneak in. You got Asher that try to sneak in and stuff, man. So, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and play the video, and I'm gonna add a couple scriptures in, and that'll be it.
Immigration measures next week. Speaker Paul Ryan is now, just days after announcing that the House will vote on immigration measures next week. Speaker Paul Ryan is now weighing in on the separation of immigrant children from their families at the border. He was asked today if he supports that policy.
No, I'm not. This is because of a court ruling. And so this, I do think, ought to be addressed. We believe it should be addressed in immigration legislation. So what's happening at the border and the separation of parents and their children is because of a court ruling. That's why I think legislation is necessary.
Well, this comes as we get a look inside a Texas shelter that's housing more than 1,000 young immigrants who've been separated from their families at the border with Mexico. The shelter is already filled past capacity. A former Walmart in Brownsville, Texas, is now the new temporary home for at least 1,500 immigrant boys, just a mile north from the U.S. and Mexico border. It's called Casa Padre, a new Washington Post article.
All right, now, Casa Padre just mean Casa meaning house, Padre, father. So more so to speak, my father's house. So, or house of my father, however you want to say it. Also, this is prophecy. This is prophecy. One, this happened to us in our history. Two, is happening again now today. You know, right before the day, before Yahweh Shema come back, or Yahweh Shah back. So this is 2nd Ezra chapter 16 verse. I'm gonna start at 46. I'm gonna go ahead and get to the point on this one. It says, for strangers, you know what? I'm gonna start up a little bit more. I'm gonna start at verse 40 and then go down to 46. I'm gonna read into it. It says, "O my people, hear my word. Make ye ready to the battle. And in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth," right? So we're supposed to be getting ready for what's to come, man. And, you know, by the looks of what's going on with these Issacharites and Zebulunites and all of that, man, this is what they're going to be bringing to America. Now, we was talking about this a long time ago, that they were going to be closing down these Walmarts and using them as concentration camps, man. You know, we been watched all types of documentaries on it, read all types of little articles and stuff, man. You know, that's why they got so many of them closed, man. And as you can see, you know, they're using them now. You know, they're not going to say they detention centers or concentration camps, but the whole dress up, the way they got them designed and inside, is similar to concentration camps, man. You know, the children, as I continue to play the video, it's going to say that they only get 2 hours of basically free time, damn near. 1 hour of exercising and another hour of free time to do whatever they want, man. That's like a prison, man. But it says, back at verse 40, "O my people, hear my word," right? So hear the Bible. "Make you ready to the battle, and in those evils be as pilgrims upon the earth. He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will lose. He that occupieth merchandise as he that hath no profit by it, and he that buildeth as he that shall not dwell therein. He that soweth as if he should not reap, so also he that planteth the vineyard as he that shall not gather the grapes. Right, so don't get comfortable in society. Be ready to, be on the move, man, when the time come. They that marry as they that shall get no children, and they that marry not as the widowers. And therefore, they that labor in vain. For strangers shall reap their fruits. Right, and this was coming. For strangers, which is Esau, the devil, the white man, shall reap their fruits, right, and spoil their goods, overthrow their houses, and take their children captives. And these kids have been taken captive, according to legislation that was passed a while back, man. They just recently signed another one into law to where they're not going to separate the children from their parents anymore. But picture how many kids didn't already been through this before they even, how many kids didn't already been through this. As you can see, how many kids was already separated, and how many families or fathers and mothers that they already shipped back over there and still have up in these so-called concentration camps, man. The damage and stuff has already been done, man, and then you got to think of how long they're gonna take to start enforcing it. Messing with Esau, but that's prophecy. That is prophecy, man. So we can't do nothing about that. I'm gonna end that right there. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28. Oh, this better not be trying to ring on me. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fill with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thine hand. Right. So, this happened during slavery, and it's happening now again. A lot of these kids is actually being shipped. I watched a couple of news articles. A lot of these kids were actually being shipped back into the U.S., into various states. One news reporter said, man. So, and then they just now giving this a whole lot of publicity. They've been doing this, man. This came out, I think, about a year or so ago, if I'm not mistaken. This came out like a year or so ago, where they was bringing these kids over into America, and a lot of their parents was just giving them up and stuff, man. A lot of these kids came over because of what's going on in their countries and stuff, man. There's a lot of stuff going on in Mexico as far as the drug wars and all that, but that's the same thing going on in Panama and Guatemala, man. A lot of them fleeing from there, coming over here into America, man. So, I'm going to jump from that scripture to, this is a same chapter, Deuteronomy 28, verse 41. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. So Issachar and the Latino tribes, the Latino tribes, a lot of their kids is going into captivity. They can't enjoy their kids, man. And a lot of these Issacharites are snapping about that. They're protesting. Issachar and the Latin tribes starting to wake up to the fact that this white man is their enemy, man. That's why the scripture said to never trust thine enemy. They got to see that they don't be knowing their history. A lot of these Latinos don't know their history of how, or don't know it in detail. They know they were conquered by the Conquistador Spaniards, but that's as far as it goes. In that history, they were conquered, put in slavery, given they had disease warfare enacted on them and stuff, man. But now today, I guess all white people changed. I guess they changed and shit, man. That's because they up under that love spirit, that Caesar Borgia doctrine, and that Mother Mary shit, man. But they gonna learn. They learning now. They learning now, man. But to be honest with you, it's too late for them. It's too late for them, man, because they can be using this to implement the RFID chip. Give a lot of these give these parents and these kids chips to ensure that they don't come back over into America. But this second Ezra chapter 12 verse. Hold on. Oh, second Ezra. I'm sorry. Ecclesiasticus. Ecclesiasticus chapter 12 verse 10. It says, "Never trust thine enemy." This white man is our enemy. For his black skies and Native Americans. "For like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, act like he cool with you and shit and whatnot, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been together wiped away." Right, so this white man always going to be the devil. Always going to be wicked. He's not going to never change. The Lord gave him that spirit. "Set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place." And he did that to a lot of the tribes, man. All the tribes. Well, in particular, I'm going to just name Gad. They did that to the Aztec Indians too, man. It says, "Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith." See. Israel, these Latino tribes don't know who they are, man, according to the Bible. That's why they fell for it. And to be honest with you, we can go, just another step deeper. A lot of these so-called Latinos are really Judites, Benjaminites. They just look just like the Latinos, man. So, but that's the judgment of Yahweh Shai, because the Lord said 2/3 were going to be cut off, man, and die. And they going through it now. They going through these processes now, because I can guarantee you, in these coming days, real soon, and to be honest with you, they are killing a lot of these Latinos in these concentration camps, man. A lot of these Latinos are getting killed in these concentration camps. You got some of these documentaries that are saying that a lot of their family members make it to the concentration camps and don't make it out. Make it to these detention centers and don't make it out. They end up dead. Some way, somehow, But all right, I'm gonna play the video.
Takes us inside the facility, equipped with classrooms, recreation centers, and medical examination rooms. But many have criticized it, saying that it is eerily similar to a detention center. Joining me now to talk about this, Emma Brown joins us from Washington. She's a Washington Post reporter who co-wrote that article. So, Emma, tell me a little bit about the conditions that are inside the facility.
Sure. Well, as you said, this is a converted Walmart. So you walk through the sliding, sort of whispery Walmart doors, and inside the old McDonald's is a cafeteria. The loading docks have been turned into a movie theater where kids were watching Moana yesterday. There have been, walls erected to create hallways and rooms where children sleep in 4 or 5 to a room. And so, there are clues of this sort of past of this building, the very tall ceilings and so on, but it has been sort of converted into this industrial place where children are being held.
Tell me a little bit, how young exactly are the children, and what are really the circumstances that led them to their situation?
So the Casa Padre is licensed by the state of Texas to hold children between the ages of 10 and 17. So many of the children there are older, teenagers who have come, as they have been for years, came by themselves to the border, fleeing, many of them, gang violence and other violence in their home countries. Some of the children, though, and a growing proportion of the children, are those who came to the border with their families and were then separated separated under the Trump administration's new zero tolerance policy, where parents are put in the criminal prosecution, put in jail while they are going through that, and children are taken to shelters. So they're children from both situations who are there at Casa Padre.
So they spend 2 hours outside each day. It seems a little bit limited for a child. What are the other restrictions they have to comply with?
I mean, it's a place it's an institution, right? So it's a place that's full of rules. I mean, there are yellow lines on the floor that children are supposed to walk on when they move from place to place. There are rules in the cafeteria about when you can get up and so on. There are, each child assigned certain belongings, a certain number of T-shirts and socks, and so it is a place that is full of rules. There are 2 phone calls a week that the child may make, and so what we have heard from advocates is that it can take a very long time for children to connect with their parents who are in ICE detention or criminal facilities.
Emma, your reporting says that Casa Padre has actually doubled its population between April and May of this year. The numbers went from 540 to more than 1,000. Why the spike?
Right. I mean, this is one of the most incredible things, I think, about Casa Padre, and it's sort of illustrative of what's happening at the border. 15 months ago, this was not open yet. There were 0 children here. It was just an empty shell of a Walmart. And now, as you said in the introduction there are nearly 1,500 boys. They're all boys who are housed here. And so that big spike happened between April and May of this year. And that is when the Trump administration announced this new zero tolerance policy. So the big jump coincided with the announcement of the policy that resulted in the separation of so many more families. But advocates have been telling us, that this has actually been going on for months, long before the official announcement. So, it's a combination of that new policy, of a sort of new wave of young migrants who are coming from Central America. Those 2 trends are sort of coming together to create this boom.
And do we know what happens next for these kids?
I mean, they are waiting to be reunified, either with family or close friends who are already here in the United States, or with their parents who may be in detention. So some of them, the average wait at Casa Padre was 49 days, according to the folks who run that shelter for the federal government. But some children, we have heard from advocates, stay for months.
And just as a side note, as you can see, they training them kids look like to do some, to fight or be some type of soldiers and stuff, man. Like they're gonna make some type of, police type force and stuff, man. And, when they do ship them back into their country and stuff from over here in America, from them sneaking in or being already granted asylum through sanctuary cities and there's something else that the Dreamers Act, when they do finally go back to their country, that puts more hell on the countries that they go back to, because now they have training and stuff, man. So now they gotta worry about what type of skills that they coming with, and police gotta watch out for them and shit like that, man. So this devil is causing a whole bunch of confusion and chaos, but that's prophecy too, because that's who this devil is, man. That's what the devil is here for, man. It's all just to fulfill prophecy, man.
Until when they have trouble locating somebody to reunify them with.
Emma Brown with the Washington Post. Emma, thank you so much for your reporting and for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Akim. I don't want to drag it out too much further. If y'all keep putting up more videos on this information, keep you brothers updated through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai. So with that being said, I'll praise to Yahweh by Shema Shai, by Shema Karkodash, double honors to the elders and apostles that rule well, and salutations to the brothers that's doing the truth and sincerity. Shalom.